Welcome to this week's episode of The Casuals over on the Challenge Podcast Network. I am your host, the Chief, Kunal Kohli, joined by a person recently named top 0.1% on OnlyFans, the beautiful, the immaculate Isis Makluf, and the man who totally didn't steal a pair of AOC's shoes or Nancy Pelosi's laptop, the Hebrew Hammer, Alan Ross. So, Hammer, now that you're back from now that you're with us after a quick little trip to Washington, D.C., James Harden traded to the Brooklyn Nets. Now joined up Katie, Kyrie, hypothetically Kyrie. Does any team in the league, any team in the East actually, any team in the East, can they compete with them if all goes well?
Yeah, I mean, funny story is I was trying to break into the laptop. Once I did, went on Twitter real quick, and that's when I found out about the trade and was just absolutely hyped. But going back to the argument, or just the debate, as of right now, I think the only roster that can really compete with them, if the Nets with Kyrie, if it actually does work, and if it doesn't implode. So that's a big if right there. So if it ends up working out, the one team that I think that can actually have a chance is the Bucks. And it's obviously just because Giannis is just an absolute freak and the Nets play zero defense. However, in a 7-game series, I'm not entirely convinced that would actually, I'm not entirely convinced they could outlast a team with 3 superstars on that roster.
So, is it the fact that Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday aren't top 10 superstars because they're not, or is it another factor in that makes you say that?
Well, like Giannis, he's obviously going to get his. You look at his playoff stats, his numbers really don't drop off that much. He's still a walking bucket, even in the playoffs. And the Nets obviously do not have anyone that can guard him. So he's going to get his 28 to 35 points regardless, no matter what. Going to grab a couple offensive boards. And then you're literally relying on the rest of that roster to have career games every night. Like, can Middleton put up 25 points every single night? Can Drew add 20? Can you have contributions from guys like Connaughton? Can they consistently put in double-figure games in the playoffs when everything changes? That's what I'm not convinced about. Maybe a couple games in a series, but not if it goes 7. I'm not sure if they can do it 7 games in a row.
Isis, you look like you got something on your mind. Speak to the
people.
Well,
it's just like if they're going to play career games, they don't have to do it 7 times in a row. It's not a 7. Yeah. Like, you don't have to win 7 games.
But can they do it in a continuous stretch? That's what I'm not convinced about.
I don't think that you have to have them play out of their minds. I think they just have to play their brand of basketball, and they can beat the Nets. It's not like if they can hold. The question should be not if they can score them, like the amount of points needed. It's can they stop the Nets from scoring? Because if they can do that, then they have a real shot at beating them in a 7-game series. No question about it. Like you've said it on this podcast before, Drew Holiday is a great defensive player, and you might have slobbed on his knob a little bit too much, where I would have thought that he is a top 10 player, but
he's a great defender.
So he's a great defender. He could stop Kyrie, and you really have to hope that Harden doesn't kill you. So if Harden doesn't kill you, and you know how he plays in the playoffs, right? He's not the greatest in the playoffs. They have a real shot at beating them, no question about it. Like this whole Giannis sucks in the playoffs, or like Giannis can't win in the playoffs is gonna. You potentially have to. It's going to stop at some point, and he's going to show us wrong. Like he's not an MVP. He's not a 2-time MVP for no reason.
Well, the only thing is, like you have Kyrie Irving, and like theoretically, you just put a dog on him, and you would think he's going to stop him. but Kyrie's still a superstar. He's still one of the best offensive threats in the entire league. And yeah, like he was stopped in the playoffs as a top guy, but as a guy that is arguably the third option, I don't know if you can just completely take him out of a game when he's not the primary focus.
Yeah, but the way Kyrie works is that he keeps breaking down his defender like throughout the shot clock and throughout the game in order for him to score, right?
I mean,
Like that's just his dribble moves, right? He's just breaking down defenders until he can score. If he's not getting the ball consistently, or if he's the third option, do you really think he can do that? Like, let's say like he gets the ball with 10 seconds left. Do you really believe he's going to create his own shot consistently?
I mean, honestly, you could pretty much, if that's the case, you could just give it to Harden, who's probably going to have Middleton on him. Maybe Middleton's guarding KD because Giannis refuses to guard superstars. So, I mean, like, okay, you take out Kyrie. You still have two other guys that can create their own shot at will, that can draw fouls at will. It's too much star power, especially in the playoffs when that actually matters.
So I think if you have teams play harder defense in the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're gonna have a harder time to score in this inflated numbers that they have right now, or whenever Kyrie comes back, if those numbers are going to be inflated, I think they're going to come down back to earth, and they're going to see like maybe we can't outscore them, like maybe we had because yes, they can outscore most people, but like they're also going to get scored on quite a bit. Like there's no defense there. So it's like you're killing yourself both ways, like you're going to get clamped down a little bit more in the playoffs and you win in the regular season. And then you're still going to be giving up points because there is no defense on that team.
I mean, I agree that defense is really starts to clamp down, and you can make the case for both teams. You can't just make it for one and not the other. But when you just think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, Drew's going to guard Kyrie and probably Harden because they're not going to be on the floor at all times together. You're going to have times where Kyrie can really break it down. He's going to be with KD probably most of the time, and then you're going to have James by himself at times. So you're going to have all these different types of lineups where the Nets, and the reason why I think they made the trade is so they can decide the tempo. It's their game to lose. They're the ones that are deciding the tempo, throwing other teams out. It's either you match with their tempo or you're just going to get completely slaughtered. And honestly, the team defense, it's probably going to improve. It has to. It's so bad right now, it has to improve. There's just
you need a big man though in the worst way.
Yeah. And I think they'll get one. Whether he's good or not, maybe it's Claxton. Who knows? Claxton has proven that he can run the floor as a center. He's an athletic specimen.
But is he good enough to stop the Bucks?
That's what we don't know. But the thing is, my argument is just that I don't know. I personally think the offensive firepower cannot be stopped just because you have three superstars that are going to be on the floor pretty much at all times, at least one or two of them. Can the Bucks really keep up with that? You can't just expect them to lock down Kyrie, KD, who's unstoppable, and James Harden. Drew can only do so much.
But if you're, because we're talking about the Bucks and because Giannis can keep the paint, he's going to guard the paint at an elite level because he always does. You're going to have to rely more on jump shots. You know what I'm saying? Is Harden going to be able to get all those fouls that he needs to get his numbers up? Is he going to be able to make those jump shots?
And his runner is filthy.
Yeah. Okay, but his runner is filthy, but you'll still have Giannis down there, who is who's one of the best defensive players in the league.
Then you'll have Jeff Green shooting wide open threes.
So now we're relying on Jeff Green.
He has to still guard his guy.
Okay, but I'm just saying,
he's not going to leave a guy wide open. That's why they have those fours that can stretch the floor. And
Okay,
then
but
you
you're
have
still
Joe Harris, who's also he's also running all over the field. You have to pay attention to that.
okay, but still, you're still gonna have to rely more on jump shots. And if like we saw with the Rockets and the Warriors, they missed like 33 pointers and they lost, right? So if you're gonna have to rely on 3-point shots, you're gonna have to make sure that they go in. And me personally, like I would rather have my team hit easy shots in the playoffs than have to force threes or jump shots all the time. Because that's what you're gonna have to do. You're not gonna have KD running down, dunking on people when you have Giannis there.
I mean, KD's going to get a couple easy looks simply because of his threat at the mid-range and three-pointer. KD,
But easy looks don't automatically go in.
what was that?
Easy looks don't automatically go in. Just because he has an easy look doesn't mean it's going to be 100%.
You don't just
And
stop KD. Like the only person that can really stop KD is himself. You're not forcing him to miss. He's missing.
And that's what
his
I'm
own
saying.
shots.
And that's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to you're gonna have
You're
to have him rely
banking-
more.
You're banking on three of the most skilled scorers in the entire league who are going to have less defensive attention just because there's three of them now. To all of a sudden just completely choke.
I think that's totally wrong. I think you're gonna have more defensive presence on them. I think people are going to focus on them more. Like, why would
you just can?
why
You
wouldn't
only
you?
have so many great defenders that can guard three players at once. That's
But
ridiculous.
you got two of them on the team. You got three on the Bucks. Giannis, Chris Middleton, and your boy.
So, like Drew, I love Drew. I think he's a great defender. Are you talking defensive wise? Or are you talking just stars?
Like you're telling me defensively.
Defensively, well, defensively, Giannis is a great defender, right? But he refuses to guard superstars.
Yeah, but Drew and Chris Middleton will obviously guard two of the three.
Yeah, Middleton will probably be tasked with KD, and we saw how that worked. KD put him in a spin cycle. Just completely embarrassed him the other night. That's a messy matchup right there. And I don't know if he can do much better against a guy like James Harden. Do you want to get him in foul trouble? Like, yeah, you can say the argument, oh, the calls don't happen in the playoffs for James Harden. But he's never had a team like this where it's like literally you stop paying attention and all of a sudden they're just rim rattling. So, I mean, I just feel like it's too explosive to stop. Like on paper, you can be like, oh yeah, like they got three guys that can line up, but realistically against three superstars.
Okay, on paper, the three super like you're using the same argument against yourself. Like it doesn't make any sense.
On paper, I mean,
so on paper,
the three of the most gifted scorers in the entire league.
Okay, so that just
especially since Giannis, who your best defender is, refuses to guard any of them.
You don't know that he might do that in the play. You can't say that he's the defensive player of the year 2 times in a row for a reason. You can't just say that. You're telling me that for trips to the finals that he's not going to guard KD. You're telling me that
he's notorious for not guarding the team superstar. So he has to prove it to us that he can do that. Maybe that's his prove it game. Who knows? But I'm not sure if I like him against KD with KD's skill at drawing fouls.
I guess
because you can't afford for him not to be in the game.
I mean, we'll see. To say that like there's no one that can stop them, or like the Bucks can't stop them, is kind of ridiculous. I'm
saying if the Nets, if it starts flowing,
okay,
I'm not convinced. So, I'm not completely convinced that it's going to flow, but if it actually works, I'm not sure if there's a team in that East that can stop them.
Okay, and if the Bucks come together and they start playing great defense, they're going to beat them. Like, we can use that argument.
I mean, yeah, if the Bucks can limit them to 80 points, that's fine. If that's what you're thinking. If that's even possible.
then I guess the Nets are just going to score 150 points a game.
If they scored under 100 points, like the entire sky is going to fall. Because it just doesn't seem possible at this point.
We'll see. Like you're literally saying if everything is perfect in a perfect world, they can score at will. They can shoot 100% from the field. Of course, they're going to win. But in another perfect world where you have Giannis who's going to guard KD, and you have Chris Middleton who's going to guard James Harden, and you have Drew Holiday who's going to guard Kyrie, they could hold them to a bad offensive game 4 times in a 7-game series.
I don't know if anyone's stopping MVP Kevin Durant.
Okay, I guess people,
especially a guy that does not guard superstars.
Okay, we'll see. Everything perfect for the Bucks, and then I guess everything perfect for the Nets. That's the argument. So if everything's perfect for the Nets, then they're automatically their winners.
Yeah,
that's your argument.
If the team flows, yeah, I don't think there's anything that can stop them. That's my argument.
But the Bucks can. The Bucks can literally stop them. They have the pieces to stop them. They're the really only team that is built to stop them at this point.
I mean, like, I guess they can have a better defensive effort, but again, like compared to the other teams in the East, but that doesn't mean they're not going to score 130 points.
They're the only team that can beat them right now. That's it.
That's the only team in the East that has a chance. Like, I'll give you that. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I just don't.
Well, no, you basically are saying it's impossible.
I don't see it happening.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see.
So now that the die has been cast, now that James Harden is in net, do you think this starts a domino effect? Do teams start trading, teams in the East specifically, start making trades to try to beat the Nets like teams do to try to beat LeBron? And if so, who's on the chopping block?
So I do think if the Nets end up gelling, I think it's going to scare the rest of the East shitless. And I think it would be the domino that gets all these other deals done. Personally, I think the Heat are probably. It seems like they're always in trade talks, and they've been linked to Bradley Beal. I'm not sure who they would get rid of because they love Tyler Hero. But I do think a Bradley Beal on that team would make them a very formidable foe. It would be the big three of Bam, Beal, and Butler. That's an awesome big three right there.
Triple B, baby. Big ballers. But do you think the Heat even have the assets to make a trade for a Beal?
Yeah. I mean, they got, is it Precious or Prince?
It's Precious Achiuwa, the GOAT.
So they got Precious, they got Hero, they got Robinson, they have firsts. They have none who's a decent asset. They have a lot of assets. It's just who are they willing to get rid of Tyler Hero? I think that's the guy that's going to have to be sent away.
Do they have assets? Like first round pick assets?
I believe so. Did they trade him? I mean, they're not going to be worth a whole ton. And they obviously have a future, so I'm not sure if pick swaps would really be worth it.
See, I just don't think Bradley Beal helps him out all that much. I think you just need like a really good defender.
I mean, they have the defense. Now you just get a guy that can drop 30 in a hurry, and Beal's that guy.
But Butler can do the same thing.
Butler is a great all-around player. But you'll see him have games where he has like 15 points because he just does what the team needs him to do. And can you really rely on one scorer? I'm not sure about that. Especially with the state of the East right now, you need firepower. And Beal is a guy that can drop 30 every given night. Pretty efficiently, too.
I just don't know why you're disrespecting Tyler Hero.
So Tyler Hero, in the bubble, my guy. Sorry, Heat fans, I don't view him as a superstar yet. So that's why I think he's on the market. I know you guys will disagree with me. You guys probably wouldn't trade him for LeBron James, but as of right now, at this point in his career, you have to weigh in all your options.
So let me ask you this, though. Getting away from Beal to the Heat, are there any other teams, either one of you, that you think could make a move, that needs to make a move in order to compete with the Nets?
I mean, the Celtics probably need to make a move if they want to compete.
And they're almost there. They have Tatum, Kemba, and Brown, who are all balling out, aside from Kemba.
They just need a good center that could defend the paint, because, I mean, you could have, if you're going strictly with the Nets, I think Kemba's going to be a liability on Kyrie. I don't think he plays that great of defense. Jaylen Brown.
He's a good defender.
Yeah, he's a really good defender. Marcus Smart is a decent defender.
He's a dog, man. I'd even say he's a real good defender.
But Jason Tatum, I think he could match up well with KD because he is a thick boy.
Yeah, he's got the size.
Yeah,
he's got the size to beat him. But I think really, if you get like,
I mean, I don't know if anyone can really stop KD one-on-one, but he can at least try to slow him down. That's true, all you can really expect.
But if you add like an Andre Drummond to the paint, like he could easily help out on KD. Because I mean, you won't have to help out on anybody down low anyways.
Well,
so
Drummond's he's not a great defender, but rebounding wise, he's amazing.
Hey man, if you ask Greg Logan, he's a potential defensive player of the year.
Okay.
But like you're not asking him to defend somebody one-on-one. Like he could literally leave his guy and just help out Jason Tatum on KD, which is going to force KD to pass it out to either the center and hope that he scores, or James Harden or Kyrie.
He would eat on the glass pretty much all game, offensively and defensively. And I think that's the only, that makes it worth it. And now that they have a trade exception, which is basically free money, send them a couple picks for him. I don't see why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, 2 first-round picks gets the deal done.
That might be even too much. You might only have to add
like a first round.
Yeah, I was going to say, he is so devalued now on Cleveland.
And he's only on. He'd be a rental. He's not on 1 year. He's not on a 1 year deal, but is in the last year of his contract.
They're not re-signing him. They got Jared Allen.
And honestly, he doesn't really mesh well in Cleveland. I think Boston's a better fit. He can play that natural game that comes to him, that back to the basket game more naturally. He doesn't need to step out and take a mid-range shot. He's got pieces around him that can do that.
That would instantly bump them into a contender in the East.
Do you think?
Yeah, but man, if the Nets play perfect, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yo, I'm just saying, if they're all gelling, I'm not sure if anyone can keep up with that.
All right, boys, we are we've been on the road to the Super Bowl, but now 2 matchups this Sunday could determine the big game. We have Green Bay, Tampa Bay. We have Bills versus the Chiefs. Who do you guys think is going to be in this year's Super Bowl?
So let's start off with the first game. So let's start off with the AFC. So it's Bills versus Chiefs. Who do you guys have winning?
Chiefs, but only if Pat Mahomes plays.
Yeah, assuming Mahomes plays.
If Mahomes injured, though.
Yeah, if he's injured, it's Bills. So let's only argue if Mahomes is playing, which it looks like he will play. Why do you think the Chiefs are going to win?
I just think I don't think the Bills defense is as good as it was last year. And I think that they have too much firepower in order to score at will. They can literally score 21 points within a 5-minute period. And I don't think that Josh Allen and that offense could keep up with that if it gets to that point. But I think Tyreek Hill is going to eat. I don't think their corners are all that great. Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. He can do
Trey White.
Literally anything. Trey White is okay, but I don't think that he'll be able to. I don't think he has the same speed that Tyreek has, where he could keep up with it. He is an elite corner. I just don't think most people can't stop Tyreek. And if what they love to do is that stupid shovel pass, where he's just running across and then he just you just throw it to him and it's just like he's gone. And if he had Tyreek killed the Bucs defense, and they're one of the best defenses in the league. I just think that there's too much on the Chiefs side, and I don't really think the Bills are going to compete because like the Bills offense the past 2 playoff games has kind of been sus.
They played pretty well against my Colts.
They played decent against the Colts.
Like for the Bills this season, like it was a decent game.
But like even then, it was kind of one of the worst games. Like they didn't really score that much.
I thought it was like one of the highest scoring games of the playoffs so far. It was what, like 34-28 or something, or 34-30 or something.
Say it was.
Yeah, verify this, dude. Jamie.
27-24.
27-24. So I mean, like 27 is still a good amount of points.
But is it good enough to beat the Chiefs?
Well, it was against a really good defense too. Got to keep that in mind. And it seemed like they were getting whatever they wanted.
I would say either way, this is going to be a super high scoring game. Like this could easily go to like.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't think either offense is playing are playing all that well. Mahomes, who knows when he'll even practice. So you have all these factors, and then you look at the Bills defense, who obviously is not as good as last year because they were just ridiculous last year. But their defensive line is looking very good right now, and that was why they were able to just dominate Lamar Jackson. And honestly, like the Chiefs are not a multi-dimensional offense right now. They have no running game. Just like the Bills, they're just they're very similar teams. It's what the highest scoring offense with the second highest scoring offense.
Yeah.
Like both defenses are pretty suspect. Both really don't have running games. So you would think it's going to be Josh Allen versus Pat Mahomes. And I'm not sold on the Chiefs defense right now against a team with so many options like the Bills. And I do think they're going to get in Mahomes' face. But if they don't, then it's going to be a long day for that defense.
But I do think that their defense actually kind of does match up well with the Bills' offense, because if you take away Stephon Diggs, and they have the piece to do it with Honey Badger, right? He's playing safety, he can double Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen love to go deep with each other. He can take that away, and then Josh Allen has to rely on John Brown and Cole Beasley
and Gabe Davis.
Can't forget about Gabe Davis, man.
Can't forget about a guy who had one good game.
He had a couple of good games in the season, and he's a rookie. He's just he could be something pretty special, but obviously, Josh Allen has a really good rapport with John Brown. We saw it last year. We saw it this year. Every single game that John Brown played, he had at least 6 catches for like over 60 yards every single game. Then you have Cole Beasley, and then you have Gabe Davis, who can make those tippy-tap catches on the sideline. You have guys that he has a good rapport with, and he threw a touchdown to 13 different guys this season. He spreads the ball around, and then you look away, and then all of a sudden he just starts force-feeding Stephon Diggs. All you need is one play with him. I view it the same way as Tyreek Hill. I don't think either of those guys are – I don't think you're going to stop those guys unless you double them.
But I think if they could successfully take away Stephon Diggs, then I think that it's going to be a lot harder for Josh Allen.
I think it's easier said than done, though, because it's not just Stephon Diggs.
But like you saw in the Colts game, when they did they took away Stephon Diggs for most of the first half, and he struggled against that defense. If they can do that while also scoring at the way that they do, then it's going to be totally different. But like if the Bills can take away Tyreek Hill, like I think Pat Mahomes has more options. Like he loves Travis Kelce. Like Travis Kelce, like going into the middle of the field, like that's going to be dangerous against the Bills.
Oh, definitely.
Personally, I'm banking on the Bills pass rush to really get a hold of Mahomes. I think they're going to try to make it a long day. And with the way they're playing, I don't know. Maybe it's a lower scoring game than we all anticipated.
So now let's shift our attention to the NFC. We have the Packers. We have Tampa Bay, the Bucks. Who do you think comes out on top?
I'm going to go first on this one.
Go for it. Who do you think comes out on top?
So, as a lifelong Colts fan, I idolized Peyton Manning growing up. So, therefore, I am one of Tom Brady's biggest haters. There's not many people that I would root for. There's not many people that I wouldn't root over Tom Brady. Like, if it was Jeffrey Epstein on the other side, I'd be rooting for Jeffrey Epstein all day. I hate Tom Brady that much.
You just said that on the pod. Wow.
I absolutely despise Tom Brady. And yeah, it's kind of sus because I've never met the man. Kind of weird. But if you've ever watched
any Tom Brady or Jeffrey Epstein?
I hate both, but Tom Brady is just like he takes up real estate in my mind for free.
Do you just like lay awake in bed at night and just think, fuck Tom Brady?
I get the night sweats from Tom Brady. And honestly, like any team that's playing against Tom Brady should feel the same way. The Packers don't turn the ball over. So therefore, they're probably going to have 3 turnovers at the very least, just out of nowhere. It's going to be like a muffed kick. There's going to be like 2 crazy interceptions. And for some reason, they're going to be playing uncharacteristically. And then Tom Brady's going to get short fields and he's going to make them pay. And with that suspect rushing defense, wouldn't be surprised to see them take an early lead and then rush all over him.
Wow, so you're going with the Bucks.
Easily. Yep.
Wow, Jesus. Who do you got?
It's really tough for me to do this because I despise Alan Ross with a burning passion. But I have to agree.
He knows how the Patriots work, or the Patriots used to work.
Yeah, like I have to go with the Bucks. The Bucks defense is very good. You saw what they did to Mike Thomas. I mean, the man with the highest voice in the NFL literally was held to 0 catches. I know he was hurt, but like if you're good enough to play, then you should have gotten at least 1 catch. And I mean, he is the slant master, and somehow like you got to catch a slant. Like, come on, like like I could catch a slant from Drew Brees. And
so you think they're going to lock down Davante Adams?
No, I don't think they're going to lock down Davante Adams to the same extent that they did Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to have like one of his crazy games that he's had. Like he has a crazy game every other week.
He'll need a big game if they want to win.
Yeah, and I think Todd Bowles, who is a former Jets head coach, mind you, I would rather have had Todd Bowles for 2 years instead of that stupid moron Adam Gase. But I think he knows how to. He's a great defensive coordinator. Like he's great on defense. I think he's going to figure out how to stop Davante Adams. If you stop Davante Adams, it's really hard for Aaron Rodgers to get the ball down the field with his other receivers that he doesn't have.
What about Lizard season?
I mean, here's the question. This will determine if he has a big game. His first pass that he gets from Aaron Rodgers, is it a completion or is it just some or does he catch it? Because if it's an incompletion, then Aaron Rodgers is not throwing in the ball the rest of the game.
But also the Packers pass defense is really damn good.
And the Bucks offensive
they have too many weapons.
Very good.
And they have too many weapons.
Yeah, and you have I mean, they're going to be able Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette is going to run all over them. Probably Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette could have over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. And if that happens, then you're going to keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. And that's the best way to beat him.
And the crazy thing is even if it's shit weather, Tom Brady is used to it.
Yeah. It's
so you're not winning with the home field no matter what.
And there's no fans, I don't think.
It seems like they have too many fans, I think.
No, Kansas City seems like they have too
That's
many
what
fans.
it was. Yeah, that's what was sketchy. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, I it's hard to count out Aaron Rodgers because he's one of the greatest of all time. But for me personally, I also want to see the Bucks play the Super Bowl in their home stadium. I think that's like a very interesting storyline because it's never happened before.
I pray that we don't see another Tom Brady Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't either, but Tom Brady losing a Super Bowl is great to watch.
Yeah.
Can't agree there. Love to see it every single time.
Yeah, I guess that's funny. Especially if it was Chad Henne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but just looking at both those games, they're must watch. They're must watch games. They're going to be awesome games. Both matchups, they just match up really well with each other. So I mean, we're going to have a splendid Sunday.
I would agree. Last week's was it was like the first game. Yeah, like
trash.
The Packers versus the Rams. That was boring as hell.
Well, who wanted to watch the Rams to begin with?
True, but like, who would have wanted to watch? Who was the other? Oh, who would have wanted to see Seattle?
Wait, it might not have been Seattle.
No, it would have been Seattle. Would you really want to watch Seattle?
So Seattle hasn't given us anything to look forward to over the last couple weeks, but I would have rather had Russell Wilson and DK and Tyler doing stuff.
I mean,
rather than bum ass fucking Rams.
I was gonna say, anytime you can give me DK Metcalf, I'll watch happily. Love the guy.
I mean, not when he's playing Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, except for that. Check out the article on that, thechallenge-sports.com. Well, you know who's not making the Super Bowl? Drew Brees. It's looking like it's the end. In terms of old quarterbacks, where do you think Drew Brees ranks?
Where do we have MAGA Drew Brees rated? All right, so I think it's pretty clear to me. I'm
45,
probably
right.
Yeah, that's a good one, bro.
That's one that just sinks in on you.
All right, so when you look back at his career, he started in 2001. And honestly, he's had some very stiff competition. I think it's very clear. I mean, like, yeah, some stat heads might disagree with me because he's like either first or second in most statistical categories, but I think that's mainly due to just longevity. That's a huge part of it. But when you look at it, it's like, how many years was he actually a top tier quarterback or a top in the running for a top quarterback in the MVP race? Even was he ever really in the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning class? Because the argument was always Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. That was the rivalry. Drew Brees was never anywhere close to that. So you got to put both of those guys above him. He played longer than Peyton Manning. He's got a higher throwing completion percentage because half of his passes come from behind the line of scrimmage, so it inflates his numbers. But then you look at a guy like Aaron Rodgers, and personally, I mean, other than Pat Mahomes, he might be the greatest quarterback I have ever witnessed. Yeah, his career kind of falls short. He only has one Super Bowl, and he seems to get injured quite a bit. But when you look at him, he's an absolutely amazing player, and it seems like he's been in the running multiple times for being the best quarterback in the league, including this year. So I would have to put those three above him. There isn't really anyone else that I would put above Drew Brees, so I would probably have him rated at 4 in his generation.
I think 4 is respectable.
Yeah.
Like not too controversial. Isis, is that kind of where you're putting him 4?
No. I am happy to disagree with Alan on this debate. I think he falls more into like the fifth / like more like the sixth. I think you can make an argument for the fifth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. I need to hear this one.
Yeah. Let's
So-
analyze this one.
So no doubt he's great in the regular season. He's put up so many yards, touchdowns, whatever. But like, so has Tom Brady, and it's like the only reason they have really been putting up those big numbers is because how long they have played and the transition from a not passing league to a more pass heavy league. If we're only going off of stats, then he is the best quarterback of all time. But like, the NFL just doesn't stop at the regular season. Like, I like to use the championship argument because like he's only been to one Super Bowl, where you have Peyton Manning, who's been to 3, Tom Brady's been to 9, Eli Manning's been to 3,
2.
I'm sorry, 2. I'm stupid. Ben Roethlisberger's been to 3. He's won 2, and you got all these older quarterbacks who have played long in the NFL, but they have they've won multiple Super Bowls and they've been to multiple Super Bowls. Drew Brees has not been able to do that, and it's not like he's been playing with scrub players most of his career. Like, he has had good teams mostly since his Super Bowl run in 2009. So we're going on 11 years where he's had top talent, a good defense, a great head coach, and he still can't manage to get back into the Super Bowl.
And there's always an excuse for it too.
Yeah, like when the Rams won, there was one
of the Vikings things.
Yeah, one of the Vikings things. And it's just like, maybe if you were as elite as people are making you out to be, then you wouldn't be in that situation to where it comes down to one play or it comes down to the refs making a bad call. Like, if you're so great, then just shut everyone up and just put the other team to bed. He hasn't been able to do that in his career. He hasn't been able to get back to the Super Bowl. And to be honest with you, he may not even won that Super Bowl if Sean Payton didn't kick that onside kick, and if Peyton Manning didn't throw that pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
We may even talk about him never winning a Super Bowl. So, like, was he the biggest part of winning that Super Bowl? I don't think so.
Yeah, people forget that onside kick was the reason why Peyton Manning was on the sideline for like 2.5 hours during that game. Right. So he came out, he was firing on all cylinders initially in the game, and then he was rusty. And then the offense fell flat, and then the Saints took advantage.
And it's like, I can't say like that's just like the greatest of all time. And yeah, he's had so many 5,000 yard seasons.
Oh, and they had to kill Brett Favre to get there.
Yeah, and their head coach was gone, not gone, but suspended the whole year. Yeah. So just like, playing dirty, does that get you in? I mean, they had a really good defense. When they went to the Super Bowl, they were never able to get back there, and I think it had a lot to do with Drew Brees. I think people figured him out in the playoffs, and it's just he never was able to get back. You got to win Super Bowls in order to like be considered an all-time great. That's why I got to put him at like 6.
So after like Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, who do you have over him? Big Ben.
Big Ben, Eli.
Oh, man.
Even though Ben Roethlisberger is an alleged rapist.
Oh no.
And porn addict. He's been to 3 Super Bowls. And he went toe to toe with Aaron Rodgers in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, but his wins, I mean, he was young. He wasn't the Big Ben that we know right now. He was carried by that defense. It was like Tom Brady in his early years. So I mean, I can't put that over a guy like Drew Brees, who has just been in the league dominating for so long.
Yeah, but like the way that he won those Super Bowls, like that, like 2-minute drill that he did was clutch. Yeah. Like that pass to Santonio Holmes, just like
that's true.
He literally had to put that in the perfect spot in order for that catch to be made, and he did it. And he was moving. He could move around in the pocket. I mean, you can't do that now, but I mean, like if you have to Drew Brees would have had to have gone to 2 Super Bowls in order for him to be above Big Ben in that situation. Like, you can't take away 2 Super Bowl wins and 3 appearances from a guy who's
You have a legitimate
played
argument
almost as
right
long.
there.
Yeah.
But Eli Manning, bro, that one's just off key.
Eli Manning, no doubt, was trash for most of his career, but he was able to do something that Drew Brees hasn't been able to do: win 2 Super Bowls and make it to 2 Super Bowls. Like, the guy's undefeated in the Super Bowls.
So if Peyton Manning retired before the Broncos, you would have put Eli Manning over Peyton Manning?
I would have to.
I mean, if that's your argument and you're going to be consistent, I respect that. But I just feel like objectively, it's not even close for those 2 guys. So I feel like that argument is just flawed in general to just go based on Super Bowls.
But, like, the thing with Payne, if he never went to the Broncos, then he would never have gone to a 3rd Super Bowl. Oh no, he went to 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he went to 4 Super Bowls, 2 with the Broncos.
2 with the Broncos. He would never have gone there 4 times. Like, you can't take basically half of his career. Not half of his career, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, half of his accomplishments.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take that away and then say, well, then who's going to win? Like, at that point, he'd have been 1-1 in the Super Bowl. He would only have made it there 2 times. If he was supposed to be the greatest quarterback of all time, he should have been able to get his team in there more, even though the Colts are a poverty franchise.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I mean, he had one of the most winningest franchises during his time in Indy. And if that injury was actually that severe and he retired early, I feel like that draws a huge red flag, because they go to dinner. Archie is kind of sitting there out, or Archie is there. And then who the hell is the brother?
Oh, the 3rd brother?
Yeah, who's the loser that just sits in the corner and just doesn't say a word?
Well, he was
Cooper
paralyzed.
Manning.
Yeah, he's not a loser. He was, like, literally paralyzed.
All right, imagine being Cooper and going to, like, Christmas dinner with Eli and Peyton while they're talking about their Super Bowls, and he's like, "Oh, well, I coach girls soccer." So you're telling me a lie.
Wait, so first off, before you finish, why are you putting shade on girls soccer?
Just saying, bro.
You're not very woke.
Yeah,
you're sounding like MAGA Allen.
MAGA Allen.
Maybe that's why I have Drew Brees 2 spots ahead of you.
Yeah.
So, but, like, you're telling me, like, let's say theoretically, Peyton Manning retired after the neck surgery. You're telling me he goes to dinner with the fam, and everybody's talking about Eli's achievements. They're not, like, they're more focused on Eli because he is the superior brother. You think he's the one that's getting more attention, or is it Peyton Manning because he was actually, like, an all-time great?
Theoretically speaking, let's say Drew Brees never won that Super Bowl. Are we having this conversation right now?
Well, I mean, Peyton Manning, he was carried in that Super Bowl. First of all.
So was Drew Brees. We already established that.
Well, Drew Brees still played a hell of a game.
But I'm just saying,
it wasn't just because of an onside kick. Like, we can't just gaslight everything that he's done.
It was an onside kick and a pick six.
And that was a great season. And he had a 7-point lead before the pick six, which made it a 2-possession game. So, I mean, Drew Brees did have a great game and an amazing season and just amazing run in general.
But we were talking in theoreticals. You're saying theoretically, if Peyton Manning stopped playing after his neck injury.
Yeah.
So theoretically speaking, if Drew Brees did not win that Super Bowl, are we having this conversation? You're not answering that question. We can't talk in theoreticals when we're talking about
still,
the now.
Like he would keep the same stats.
Same stats, no Super Bowl. Super Bowl loss. 0-1.
I would still put him over Eli Manning. Without a doubt in my head.
So he's still fourth.
That's when I would put Big Ben over him.
Okay, so then Super Bowls do matter to you.
I think the lack of having a Super Bowl is what does it.
So Super Bowls matter to you.
Well, like if you're
Eli Manning beat probably the greatest team of all time.
Yeah.
I think that
And
in
it-
itself furthers his case. But
Yeah.
I still don't think it's Peyton over Eli.
All right, so you're gonna put Nick Foles over
I mean, I'm
a
not
bunch
putting.
of
I'm not.
guys,
I'm not putting
Yes.
Peyton. I'm not putting Peyton over Eli right now.
and you're not
Don't get
putting
that-
Big Ben over Aaron Rodgers, or are you?
Are you?
I would have to think. I would have
You
to think
don't
about it.
have to think about that.
I mean, Big Ben was a baller in his early years,
So
I mean,
you're telling
and
me
like they're
you'd
kind of the
take-
same. They're kind of the same type of player because they both tend to get injured during the season, and Big Ben has been able to do a little bit more than what Aaron Rodgers has been able to do.
but I think we're holding Aaron to a different standard just because he has the most insane arm talent that we've ever seen.
But going back to the debate,
At least I do. At least that's why I have him third in that generation.
I mean, for my argument, I'm not going all on just stats. Like, I'm also going into postseason success because that is what drives like Hall of Famers. Like, you're not like Eli Manning gets into the Hall of Fame strictly on those 2 Super Bowls.
So you're gonna put Troy Aikman over Peyton Manning.
Troy Aikman was on great teams,
So now it matters.
but Drew Brees was also on great teams.
I mean, like early
he's
on
had-
in his career, he was on some
but-
horrible teams.
I think what Elias is trying to say here is the common denominator here is championships. Am I correct? Like, is that what you're trying to say here?
Yeah, like you have, like, yes, like like each situation is different, but if you do look at the quarterbacks of that generation, they all were able to get to Super Bowls and they were all able to win Super Bowls multiple times. Drew Brees hasn't been able to do that. Like, a good quarterback is, like, you look at him and his championships more than anything else. Like Peyton Manning, he doesn't have the great, like, he has like top 3 numbers, right? But like, you're not just looking at those numbers, like, you're just looking at the type of player that he was. And like, Drew Brees, yes, has the best numbers, but he wasn't the best quarterback.
Well, the thing was, like, with Peyton, which makes this debate interesting, is that he didn't have a great playoff record. He had like 3 games over his 3 wins over his losses. Was carried in that second Super Bowl. Like, he was just a ghost of himself at that point, and then rode off in the sunlight. So I mean, like, if you're looking at that, then you're looking at like a guy like Troy Aikman, who has what is it, 4, 5? You know, like, you're looking at guys like that who are clearly worse. Like, they're not as influential. They didn't put up the numbers. They were carried by the team. But then you're looking at the Super Bowl rings and you're like, oh, well, like, he was part of this dynasty. If you're putting so much weight on the rings, I feel like it changes. Because, like, I'm not gonna put Eli Manning over Aaron Rodgers. I would never.
I'm not either.
I would never put fucking.
No, but that's not the argument here. It's not, oh, championships are the exclusive factor.
You just said it. You literally, Kunal, just said, like, he's weighting it more than anything.
I'm saying that's the common denominator in the situation, because we're talking about great quarterbacks, minus Phil Rivers, who's also part of this generation, right?
Yeah,
Like-
he's part of it.
Like, we're talking about great quarterbacks, all of whom achieved fantastic things in their career. What's the one thing they all have in common? And it's not, hey, let's rank exclusively by championships, but it's, let's make that a factor as well into the situation.
See, it's a huge factor, but
Yeah.
like, there's also guys that like just never could get it done. Like, you have the Jim Kellys, the Dan Marinos, and they're still all-time greats.
Right.
But they're not to the extent that these players are. Like, Jim Kelly never won a Super Bowl, right? He's going to only be known for going 0-4 in the Super Bowl, right?
And revolutionizing the K-gun offense and leading a team to 4 straight Super Bowls in a dynasty.
But then losing those 4. Like, you don't.
I just
You
feel
don't
like
bring up Jim. You
you
don't bring
talk
up
to
Jim
anyone
Kelly.
that remembers Jim Kelly, they're not going to tell you that like Eli Manning
First-
is the better
Well, you talk
quarterback.
to anyone who remembers Jim Kelly, first of all,
And they're going to say Payne.
I was going to say they're ardently a Bills fan, and they call him the greatest quarterback of all time.
Well, he was just amazing. He revolutionized the no huddle offense, and that's the reason why Peyton was doing what he was doing.
The only thing that's going to be on his tombstone is Jim Kelly 0-4 in the Super Bowl.
And cancer survivor.
Well,
and K-Gun offense.
No, it's going to be
Mafia.
Okay. The first thing 0-4 in the Super Bowl.
I just feel like it's disrespectful to guys that would deserve it more than just the people that were on fun runs with really good teams.
So answer this question. Drew Brees found himself to one Super Bowl, and you claim that Eli Manning is a trash quarterback, right? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think he was trash. I thought he was a good quarterback, but okay, I don't think he was like a legend or something.
Okay. So why can Eli Manning find himself to 2 Super Bowl wins, yet Drew Brees has found himself for only one, playing more seasons and potentially being on better teams? Because the last 5 years of Eli Manning's career, he was on trash teams. But Drew Brees has had a good team around him for most of his career with the Saints. Just with the Saints, right? And he has found himself to 1 Super Bowl.
I mean, there's many factors that come to play because luck was a huge factor. That defense was amazing. Along with that, like Eli Manning, he was just never consistently good. He was never a guy like he could put up 4,000 yards, but he was never a guy that like really stuck out to you.
And he was still able to win 2 Super Bowls, and he was still able to lead his team to 2 Super Bowls, something that Drew Brees has not been able to do. He's been able to do it once. He's a one-hit wonder.
I just don't I get it. You're waiting the Super Bowls, but then we bring up the guys that haven't won it. Then we're bringing up the guys that have won a bunch, like Troy Aikman. You said, oh, he was part of an amazing team. He was carried. Like, I don't know where the argument stops.
So first off, the argument is his generation, right? Yeah. So we need to only look at his generation of quarterbacks. His generation. But then
when you bring up the other factors, it just doesn't make any sense.
But we're bringing up factors that don't apply to the argument. The argument is his generation of quarterbacks, and I'm giving you his generation of quarterbacks, and you're bringing 2 quarterbacks who were not in his generation.
I'm bringing up quarterbacks in other generations to give you a good basis on why the argument is stupid. But for this generation,
but that's not. So this generation of quarterbacks is different from the last generation. So why are we bringing up last generation? Let's talk about this generation.
Because it's still the same argument. It's just in a different generation. It's proving that the championships shouldn't be weighed as much. Because Eli Manning, he went on 2 really fun runs, but he wasn't that good of a quarterback. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He'll be remembered for what? Being lucky?
Yeah.
That's like what he's going to be remembered for. Okay, Drew Brees, we're going to remember him for having insane stats, Super Bowl champion, bringing happiness to New Orleans.
Straight after Hurricane Katrina, by the way, which I think is like he completed a whole storybook narrative there. I think that factors in as well.
So did Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning brought love and cheer to the Denver city. So did Eli Manning. He brought joy and laughter to New York City.
I'm just imagining Peyton and Eli in a sled like Santa Claus, just like
it's subjective though.
Here's happiness for you. The story of how a Super Bowl is won or how how a season goes about should not go into how great a player is. It should be about what happens on the field. No doubt he has great stats. Don't get me wrong, it's great stats. But stats should not be the biggest factor in how you determine a quarterback. A quarterback's greatness.
I don't either, because I weight Super Bowls differently though. Tom Brady. I don't value his first 3 Super Bowls all that much because he had a game-winning drive, was asked the rest of the game. Then he was carried by his amazing defense in the other 2. And then he went on a 10-year drop-off of just losing Super Bowls. So yeah, like I don't weight those Super Bowls all that much. But then what he did at the end was when I was like, wow, like he is the GOAT. He just really put himself way over everybody because the Super Bowls that he won were just weighted so insanely more than a lot of other quarterbacks' Super Bowls, in my opinion. So I weight Super Bowls differently. I also like to look at stats. Longevity is also a pretty important thing for me. Drew Brees was able to do this for so long and not really slow down, which is just ridiculous. Influence is also something I look for. Clutchness, that's always a factor. There's many different factors. You are weighting yours completely differently.
Yeah. I don't believe that a regular season quarterback who puts up great numbers in the regular season should matter all that much.
Yeah, see, I think the regular season counts. But I'm a Colts fan, so that's why I would think that.
Okay, cool. Somebody was able to put up numbers in the regular season, but when it matters, he wasn't able to do that. And that's how you should determine someone's greatness. They were able to do it in the Super Bowl when it matters the most. Or they were able to do it in the playoffs when it matters the most. Not Drew Brees. He's 6.
All right, folks. Before we go, we all have Tinder stories. But Ezus, you just got banned. What
I didn't just get banned. I've been banned for a year.
It's been a year?
Yeah, like yeah.
Wait. So during the break,
harassing women on there, bro?
No.
Yeah, like
no.
what were you doing?
So I wasn't harassing women. I don't do that. I am not a Ben Roethlisberger. But I do have some. I feel like they're funny pictures just so it can show my personality. And plus, I don't take very good pictures because I'm an ugly boy. So, like, I just use funny pictures so people are like, oh, he's, like, kind of cute and funny.
At least
right?
He's funny.
Yeah. So, I have this picture. I'll show it to you. It's this picture. Very sexual-looking picture.
I love your nipples.
Yep, nipples are out for the ladies. You got some man titties. It's just look at the hairline, like that. It's just
impeccable.
Wacky. Yeah, that was the boys 4-cut at Supercuts. But so that was the picture. And one day I go to get some swipes and see like what ladies are out there that want to hook up, don't want to, just want to be friends. Maybe want something in the future. So I'm swiping and all of a sudden I get banned. And I'm like, why? I didn't do anything. Like I didn't when I message a girl, it's not even like, oh, hey, like you trying to suck my dick or something. It's just like funny shit. Like I look at their profile and I try to like do something funny from there. And never am like, I'm just like straight up like come over or whatever. So I just get banned and I'm like, what the fuck? And so the only logical answer is somebody reported me for child pornography. And it's me. I'm the child. It's my pornography. I can post it if I want to. And then so I was, feeling pretty sexy about myself. Go to log into, because I knew I got banned. So I was like, whatever, I don't need to use Tinder. I haven't been on Tinder for like a year. I was like, oh, who cares? Like, I'm going to go check out Tinder. Still banned. Don't get it. And I sent them an email and I was just like, hey, I think I know why my account got banned. I really didn't do anything, but I think it's for child pornography. And it's just so you guys know, it's me. Like, that's me shirtless.
Delete instantly.
Yeah, because like
whatever you lead with, I think my profile got banned for child pornography. I think that's instantly unlocked. They're just like, can't give this kid his profile back. Let's call the FBI.
Someone had to report you though. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, like, it's happened to me before where, like, I would log in and, like, I'll look through my pictures and, like, that one of me shirtless is just gone. So I just re-upload it because it has to be on there. And then, like, months go by and then it would just be, like, gone again. So I'm just, like, thinking it was, like, a 3-strike thing where they're like, oh, this guy's got child pornography, so we got to take it off.
I have a funny Tinder story.
Is it the one I think you're going to tell?
Yeah, I matched with Kunal's sister. Yeah, so she like hits me with like the what you doing, like you up? And I was like, oh, okay, this never happens. Fuck it. So I went with it. And I was like, yeah, come over. And then I got a
DM.
I got a DM on Twitter because I don't think Kunal had my number at that point. And he's like, bro, delete my sister on Tinder. Not cool, bro.
So my little sister's sitting there, and before we had an argument because like I don't talk to my friends about my little sister. Why would I talk to my friends about my sibling? You know?
Same.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why? Like, and she was just like, your friends don't even know who I am. And I'm like, first of all, they probably do. You're annoying as shit. Like, I love you, but you're annoying as shit. Secondly, like, they don't need to know who you are. They're not your friends. They're my friends. So she goes on a mission to find as many of my friends on Tinder as she could and matches with them all. So, like, she got Alan, and I'm sitting there, and she literally shows me the whole fucking conversation, and I'm sitting there and like, why did you have to trap my boy like that? And I DM Alan, I'm like, bro, that's my sister, dog. Come on. The fuck?
Yo, I spat some game in that too.
No, you said I live in Bing. Fuck, and I have to go to work tomorrow. No, that's what you said. Like, I recall that word verbatim.
Yeah, he was probably cleaning up his apartment, like making it nice. So like he was ready to go, doing some push-ups.
Brought some fucking candles over.
Yeah, so I'm sitting. So Amisha literally looks at me and she's like, "See, like your friends don't know who I am. You have to tell your friends who I am." I'm like, first of all, you're literally like she was like 16 at the time.
Was she?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. She was underage.
Damn, you almost got a case.
Yeah, Alan nearly got a case, bro.
Why was she trapping?
Cause that's what fucking 16-year-olds do now. Like,
dude, that's fucked. Yeah, whoever's watching this, like, these girls are for the streets, guys.
Yeah, bro, Tinder should take away your account for child pornography.
Dead ass.
Yeah.
You sick bastard.
It's all good. I had like 3 accounts.
I was gonna say, I think the worst thing that happened to me on Tinder was I matched with this girl. I think she like went to Nazareth or something. And we were just talking or whatever, and she asked me who I voted for in 2014 or 2016.
You said Big Donnie.
Well, I was like I was truthful. I'm like, oh, I voted Hillary. Like, I got mad Democrat vibes from her. She calls me the N-word straight up. Like, hard R and all.
Did she put sand in front of it?
No, just straight up the N-word. I'm like,
so she didn't even know you're Indian.
Yeah, I was like, wow. She thinks I'm light skinned.
Damn, she's for the streets, bro.
Receipts tell me that Big Donnie was gonna dick me down.
Damn.
And then I just
wait. Was that accurate? Did it happen?
Donald Trump did not break into my house to dick me down. Can confirm that much.
He was too busy hanging with Drew Brees.
Exactly. So I unmatch with her, right? And then I report her to Tinder for because you can't just use the hard R. I'm sorry. Like, you are pale white. You are whiter than mayonnaise. I'm not letting you get away with that. So I totally forget what her name was or like what she looked like. And I'm like scrolling through Tinder again and I'm just swiping right on everybody as per usual. I matched with her a second time. And she messages me and she goes, "Ha ha, I have a second profile, you stupid hard R." And I'm like,
yo.
And I'm just sitting there like,
dude, you got clowned.
Bro.
Did you tell her you're Indian at least?
No, I literally, again, report unmatch.
I would have been like, first of all, I'm Indian.
No.
Second.
I was like, fuck, I'm like, twice in a row, we're going again. Repeat, learn your lesson. Now I have her name memorized. I have her face memorized. It is in my memory banks. I go on Bumble.
Oh, jeez.
Same shit. And I had like the premium Bumble for free because of like my Google like account had like enough money for a premium account, and I was like, fuck it, why not? And she was one of the people who liked my profile.
She
And
wanted to suck all it again.
Yeah, I was like,
she was like, oh yeah, it's time.
She's going NIG.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I got a match with her. And I'm like,
oh.
I didn't. Like, I had a debate internally.
The trilogy nobody wanted.
Exactly. I just stopped it at the sequel.
Yo, can we reflect on how horrible Bumble is?
Yeah, it's the worst.
Here's the thing with Bumble. Women cannot send any message. It's literally, hey.
Every time.
Every time.
Literally.
And we're expected to like send something funny, something like a pickup line. Like they're just, hey. And they're just like, okay, then why do they even have the option to message first? Because they literally just want to say hey so that you can do the same thing that you would say on Tinder.
So I've come up with a way to stop them from saying hey to me. Like, I've done the quirky white girl thing of like putting down my preferences for the Oxford comma. Now, if you are new to the podcast, which you probably are, I fucking hate the Oxford comma. I don't let anyone use it when I publish articles because it's against AP style. I literally have to train myself not to use it. It's fuck Oxford comma. If you use an Oxford comma and you write for a newspaper or for broadcast television, fuck you. So
you really got him there, bro.
Anyways, so I'm just like, I just put down anti-Oxford comma, changed my mind. And literally the amount of women who hit me up just to talk about the Oxford comma is stupid.
I really don't believe you on this, dude.
Oh. Wait. Let me pull up the messages. I'm pulling up the messages.
Oh my God, you hate the Oxford comma? Me too. Oh my God. I'm so weird.
You want to know another way to do it? So I put in my Bumble account or Tinder account. Favorite movie must love dogs. And then mad people are like, what is must love dogs? And I just go to Google, type in must love dogs, copy whatever Google has and send it to them. They're like, oh my God, you must really like must love dogs. I'm like, I've never seen it.
See, I had no luck on Bumble. I would just match with like girls that were balding.
Why?
So men?
Yeah, like
basically, bro. They just had so much testosterone.
I think we have an announcement to make. Folks, after interviewing a fantastic Korean basketball player, the Jamil Warney, forward for the Seoul SK Knights, we're gonna watch some Korean Basketball League highlights on Twitch. Drink soju. Please join us as we get trashed on soju.
Yo, is Jamil joining us?
I can hit him up and see if he wants to join us.
Would he, or would he be like, nah, that's fucking lame?
Well, I don't think the time will line up.
Yeah, I think, and he honestly, I think like just being like, yo, we're drinking soju, bro. Like, I think that would be a no.
Yeah, it's true. It would bring back flashbacks.
He's just sitting there, has just PTSD.
Yeah, he starts freaking out.
He's just like, I don't want to drink. I don't want to shotgun soju. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that on Twitch soon. So please join us as we get trashed on soju. You know, we should invite Jamil. I might invite Jamil, see if he wants to interview us.
Interview us?
Yeah, as we're drunk on soju, you know, reverse roles.
So guys, what are your awful Tinder stories?
Well, we got a segment on our podcast you can check out.
All right, guys. This has been The Casuals. I'm your host, The Chief, joined by my two favorite 90 Day Fiancé cast members, Isis Elias Makluf and Alan the Hebrew Hammer Ross. You can catch us every Thursday over on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Hit that like button. Please subscribe. Catch you next week.